be dominated. They showed the world that the Palestinian people will fight for freedom instead of quietly adapting to subjugation. They showed us that through creativity, determination, and combined strength, the masses can accomplish great feats. A fact that we have seen in every heroic struggle for liberation, from Vietnam to Afghanistan. As Mao says, dare to struggle, dare to win.
The primacy of guerrilla warfare is a tactic of resistance by a militarily inferior power against an imperialist superpower. Any views which see political terror merely as a fanatical ideology of uncivilized fundamentalist groups completely ignores the facts of history and how the terrorism we know and are familiar with in the present was specifically catered by American imperialism in conjunction with Israel. Arguments which unilaterally condemn Hamas as a barbaric horde of terrorists fail to recognize that it is in fact the political representative of the people of Gaza. This puts us in the difficult and uncomfortable position of how to question what type of violence or what type of effective resistance could actually change the situations of Palestinian people, because it's clear that sitting by with no arms and no mobilization of the people is going to do nothing.
Revolutionary violence is central to anti-imperialism because imperialism cannot exist without colonial violence. Chants of From the River to the Sea are seen as calls for genocide, and criticism of the Israeli government is labeled anti-Semitic. Many Israelis see these calls for Palestinian liberation as acts of violence, perhaps because violence is central to the construction of the Israeli national identity. The October 7th counteroffensive must be examined in the context of 75 years of brutal Israeli occupation in Palestine, because, as Mao tells us, war is a continuation of politics. The violence perpetuated by the IDF and the Israeli government is not just a policy choice. It is the foundation of the nation's existence, and it is essential to its survival. Average citizens are given automatic weapons and encouraged to take up arms in order to expand settlements, and they act freely because they are well aware that they will not be punished within the Israeli legal system. Israel and its allies denounce revolutionary violence in Palestine and insist that we condemn Hamas while ignoring the fact that their own violent actions are what forced Palestinians to resort to violence in the first place.
I'll speak about the background and rationale behind the October 7th operation known as Al-Aqsa. In an interview with Al Jazeera on the same day, another leader of the operation stated that they have captured enough Israeli soldiers to free all Palestinian prisoners, highlighting the centrality of this goal in motivating this particular counteroffensive. All the agreements that have been signed with Israel can never put an end to this battle. It is the terrain that will put an end to this battle. It is the heroic fighters who will put an end to it. It is the blood of the pure martyrs and the heroic deeds of this people, its wounded and its prisoners, that will put an end to it. Since the 2021 Intifada, Palestinian resistance groups have increasingly united together in joint operation. This joint operation includes Hamas, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, Islamic Jihad, the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine, the Lion's Den, and the Jenin Brigade, among others, all who waged united armed struggle in Operation Al-Aqsa Flood on October 7th. This unity is in contrast with the recent disunity of the Israeli forces that was at an all-time high before the counteroffensive was launched.
That it is a victim of the staggering amount they deflect.
Ask that either you stop filming, you don't record, or you leave the event, just to respect the privacy of our speakers.
Hi guys, so real quick with the photos and the pictures, I think we all know this time that that's a really dangerous thing to do. So if you don't mind, we'll ask that you not record.
Back the way you came.
Can I ask, is there a double standard here that I'm in violation of the rules, but they could block the entire lobby?
This is about the school social work and coming in.
So that's not in violation of the rules?
I would tell
Or it
you,
is just a double standard
I would
for
tell
a jail?
you, we'll have this conversation outside, and I'll give you my honest opinion on this, okay? Come on, stop recording.
Come on. It's canceled, we can't stop.
So it's canceled?
If you can close the doors to non-social work, you can shut it down. This is the event.
We're asking you guys to please don't record. Please.
The event was canceled.
But you're letting it happen. You don't want to stop.
Bobby, you know that this is the wrong move.
Shame on you. I cannot believe I heard that in this room from students at our school. Shame.
Rape is not resistance.
To characterize the events of October 7th as a counteroffensive where my people were killed and maimed, and yes, raped, whether you like it or not, whether it fits your narrative. To characterize that as anything else but terrorism and a massacre is unacceptable from people who are studying to be social workers.